Hello everyone, this is Adam here from London Music Tours and you are watching My Back Pages. Thanks for joining me on My Back Pages, the music book club. In this episode, we're going to be discussing Utopia Avenue by David Mitchell. I'd like to begin this episode of My Back Pages by thanking Caroline and Dave Maskery, who joined my Rock and Roll London walking tour earlier this year and gave me this fantastic recommendation for a book I enjoyed so much. So thanks Caroline and Dave for recommending Utopia Avenue by David Mitchell. The writer, David Mitchell, has blended two of my very favourite things, Soho and music in the 1960s. He's created a fiction peppered with cameo appearances from real characters from the period. And the blend, the mix, is an absolute thrill. We bump into a young David Bowie on a staircase in Denmark Street. Later on, we meet Leonard Cohen in New York City. The action, centred mainly in London's Soho, travels the world as the fictional band Utopia Avenue get bigger and bigger. And so we visit the aforementioned New York City and we end up, this being the late 1960s, on the West Coast in the Haight-Ashbury district of San Francisco. It's a wild ride. The four-piece band, a wonderful combination. A Jack the Lad bass guitar player from suburban Kent. A middle-class English folk singer-songwriter. A bluff northern drummer. And a virtuoso guitar player from the Netherlands with an aristocratic background. Ladies and gentlemen, I give you Utopia Avenue. Tremendous name for a late 60s band. The parallels with real life go off like little squibs. If you don't get them, it doesn't matter. You can still enjoy the story without having a deep understanding of late 1960s rock and pop in London. But if you do get them, it's thrilling. Little references to Syd Barrett. Parallels with the young Keith Richards. The cult of the blues guitar genius in the late 1960s. I'm thinking Clapton, Beck, Page. All paralleled in the progress of our four-piece band, Utopia Avenue. It's ingeniously done and always a compelling story. The London locations too. That's why I'm here. Music tours in London. The London locations are absolutely perfect. We visit Les Cousins, the folk club where such artists as Nick Drake performed in Soho, the Two Eyes Coffee Bar, the very birthplace of British rock and roll, looms large, and of course Denmark Street, the traditional home of the music business. It's wonderful to enjoy the descriptions of these locations, these clubs, these venues in their heyday. The pace of the story is tremendous too. Like many a real-life rock and roll band, Utopia Avenue burn brightly and quickly, like Jack Kerouac's fabulous Roman candle. Now, there is, of course, great leeway for cliché with this subject matter. Sex and drugs and rock and roll. Mr. Mitchell, however, deftly avoids such pitfalls. His character backstories are strong and very believable, particularly that of Elf, the young singer-songwriter whose boyfriend treats her absolutely appallingly. Grasping the nettle here that misogyny is the rising sign of the period. This is not an Austin Powers romp down the King's Road. It's shot through with realistic, believable human and period detail. Very cleverly, Mitchell paints a dowdy, down at heel, mid-20th century, post-war London, to such an extent that you don't notice that you're witnessing the making of a legend. Very cleverly done. The band go on to ever greater successes and, as you might expect, no spoilers of course, but as you might expect, burning brightly and quickly. These things seldom end well. David Mitchell really captures the senseless tragedy of young talent cut off in its prime. I knew it was coming, but I was so enjoying the story, so swept along by the narrative, that when it did come, the inevitable, I was absolutely bereft. What tremendous storytelling. Thanks for joining me on this episode of My Back Pages. I hope you enjoy the book as much as I did. Keep in touch. Follow me on the socials. Here are the addresses. Come and see me on a tour. And I look forward to seeing you next time on My Back Pages.